Ladies and gentlemen of the House, I rise today to honor the life and celebrate the birthday of America's 16th President, Abraham Lincoln. This past Sunday, February the 12th, was the 214th anniversary of Lincoln's birth. Abraham Lincoln was born in a log cabin in Sinking Springs Farm, Kentucky on February 12, 1809, to Thomas and Nancy Hanks Lincoln. In 1830, when Abraham was 21, the family moved to Illinois. He performed odd jobs and took a floatboat of goods to New Orleans. At New Salem, he was a partner in a store that failed and would be many years paying off the last of the store's obligations, an obligation he referred to as the national debt. He was elected a captain of a militia during the 1832 Black Hawk War, an election he would later say pleased him more than any other. Abraham Lincoln ran shortly after that for the Illinois General Assembly, but was unsuccessful in his first bid. However, 2 years later, he was elected as a member of the House of Representatives. In 1836, Lincoln received a license to practice law. He would go on to establish a respectable record as an attorney and was often hired by the Illinois Central Railroad. Lincoln won re-election to the General Assembly in 1836, 1838, and 1840. Among his accomplishments was a major role in getting the state capital moved to Springfield. In 1846, he was elected to the U.S. House of Representatives, where he gave the infamous spot speech about the war that had begun with Mexico. He demanded President James K. Polk reveal the exact spot which American blood had been shed, stating that the war, whether that spot was on American or Mexican soil. Jumping forward to 1858, he engaged in a legendary series of debates across Illinois with the author of the Kansas-Nebraska Act, Senator Stephen Douglas. The 5-foot 4-inch Douglas and 6-foot 4-inch Lincoln faced off over the issue of slavery. The national attention he received resulted in the Republican Party making him its presidential candidate in 1860. Lincoln would win the election in 1860, but shortly after would begin the Civil War. Lincoln would lead as commander-in-chief with the nation dividing. Brothers fighting brothers, friend fighting friend, American fighting American. In the autumn of 1862, following the Battle of Antietam, he announced the Emancipation Proclamation. In 1864, despite his concerns with the ongoing war, Lincoln would win re-election. On April 9, 1865, General Robert E. Lee surrendered the largest Confederate army to Grant, essentially putting an end to the war. With the light of victory clearly breaking over the horizon, Lincoln and his wife Mary went on to Ford's Theater on the night of April 14th to see the comedy Our American Cousin. During the performance, an actor and staunch Confederate sympathizer named John Wilkes Booth slipped into the presidential box and shot Lincoln. Lincoln would never recover and was later laid to rest here in Springfield. Lincoln was instrumental in the passage of the 13th Amendment, banning slavery in the United States. While he was not a perfect man, he was a man that united our nation and reminds us, especially in this body, that a house divided against itself cannot stand. As I look up to his portrait here in this body, let us honor the life and the service of our 16th President, Abraham Lincoln.